Technical
Hello.
difficulties.
Yeah, hello, and welcome to InstaQuest. I'm Jobo, your resident DM here, and joining me today we have a new guest, a new face, Utahime cosplay.
Hi guys, I'm super excited.
Yeah, Uta is going to be joining us when InstaQuest returns in this fall. So we figured we'd go through and do a little character creation. You guys can learn how to create a Dungeons and Dragons character and get a little insight into Bree's new character here.
All the plans. That's what I was saying before. So when you saw this, I was like, all the plans.
Yeah, we important part of making a character is having special secrets with you and the DM to drop on the party, at a opportune time.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully we can get a few of those squared away. But
That's
first,
always what we like we love. The surprises from the DM.
oh
And
yeah.
especially when we roll a one.
I mean, you got to take the crits with the crit fails.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So we're going to be using Roll20 today to handle our virtual dice rolling. I've actually used this a lot now that everybody's locked indoors nowadays, and all my in-person games have become online games. So this is just a free tool online that allows you to like make characters and roll dice online and play D&D with your friends. So we pulling up your character sheet here.
And this is awesome. I've only used in one campaign, I've only used Roll20 mainly for the battles. So
Mm-hmm.
knowing where everyone is at any given time during the dungeons. But this is really cool because I didn't even know that they had this feature on Roll20. So this is awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. They've got a nice. This is actually a relatively new thing. I think in just in the past few years they've added this character mancer, which is a nice streamlined way to go through getting all the crunchy little bits of your character together, all the stats and the pluses and the minuses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got it open here, let's go ahead and jump in. So we'll be
Alrighty.
going through the character mancer here. I think I can follow along as you go through here. I might have
Yes.
to do a little finagling. Um, Yeah, so we'll be going over to race as your first choice here.
All right.
So I guess we can talk about your character a little bit. What were you planning for your character? I know we've talked a little bit about.
Yes. So I was definitely planning a high elf paladin.
Hmm.
I even brought my sword.
Ooh, very nice.
A paladin always has a sword on hand. But yes, so I was thinking a high elf paladin, and definitely, because you guys haven't, you kind of discussed it in one of the other streams about the kingdom of Zen.
Hmm.
And I found that kingdom very interesting. The fact that there is one last remaining like God on earth. And so I thought, well, it would be really, really cool if this paladin is a knight for the kingdom of Zen. So that was kind of where I wanted to go with it, especially because so far I think the other adventurers in the guild they're not from that area,
Hmm.
if I'm remembering correctly.
That's
So I
right.
was like, that would be really cool to kind of have this new character from an area that maybe some of them may have traveled to, but some of them may not have. So
Yeah, yeah, we
yeah.
have we have a couple of characters that are kind of formerly from Valia, but I definitely haven't seen very much of the Holy Kingdom yet. So your
Yeah.
character will be a great vector for kind of learning about and exploring that place.
Yeah, it,
Um,
it just seemed really interesting, and I was like, I want to know also to learn more about the kingdom and kind of dive into that as well as Zen, because he sounds very interesting,
oh yeah, yeah.
this mysterious god.
Yeah. So in Dungeons and Dragons, when you hear God, it's not like God with like a capital G. It's not like you're Christian or you're
Yeah.
Judeo-Christian kind of Yahweh sort of thing. It's a bit more like pantheons, kind of like think more
Hmm.
like Greek gods. They're
Like the
just
lore and the mythos.
yeah, yeah. They're just very very powerful entities that sometimes have domain over different things. And Zin is the last living god after the harrowing, the catastrophe that rocked the world 1,000 years ago. And he's set up a nice little place for himself in the Holy Kingdom. And he was the one god that wasn't in the sacred realm, that wasn't up in the heaven of the setting that when that all got blown up. And he's also the god of fate and destiny. So kind of
Hmm.
fortunate timing that he wasn't there, but
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Which I thought really works well with a paladin, believing in that there's this divine destiny, like your purpose, in the realm. You're meant to do great things.
Hmm. Yeah, that goes really well with like a hero's journey and the
Oh
paladin's
yeah,
calling and all that.
for sure.
So part of the culture of the Holy Kingdom is a that everybody has like a destiny to fill, that everybody has their part and their place in the great plan. So if you're serf, out tilling the fields, the belief is that if you continue to do that, if you're a just person and you follow the plan, then when you pass away, you're reincarnated into your next life into a better position. So the society of the Holy Kingdom is actually built into like a very like caste sort of structure, based
Hmm.
off what people's kind of plans are decided for them. So if you're born into like the working class as like a farmer, you're gonna be a farmer all your life. Maybe better in the next time. Then kind of like a step up to that would be like the soldiers and the priests, and then the anointed, and Zin himself at the top of the whole pyramid. Um, so it's a very interesting society, and it's going to be great to have a lens into it through your character.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah. So you were saying a high elf is the race we're going to be choosing here?
Yes, the race. Before I go into any more of like kind of what I was thinking for the backstory, because that kind of we'll get into the meat of it
Oh
in a
yes,
little
of
bit.
course, of course, of course. Um, yeah.
See,
So yeah, just on
okay,
the drop down there. I
right
can't.
here, and then we got elf, and then are you able to choose high
Uh,
elf here?
yeah. So an elf is going to give you a bump
Oh,
up.
here we go. Wait, I think no, that's half elf. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, elf is going to give you a base, just increase 2 to your dexterity, which is good for dodging and ranged attacks and all that
Perfect.
good stuff. And then you get to choose a subclass of race here. Down, 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 sub race, all the way at the bottom.
Okay, there we go. And then I was going with high elf because I definitely if she's a knight, a high elf kind of, I felt like it would kind of work well. Just
Yeah,
kind of a noble. They're very noble.
yeah. They're a little highbrow. They've got that extra
A little bit,
plus one
yes.
intelligence for getting that the brow a little bit higher.
Oh yeah, just
Um,
kind of chin a little bit higher, looking down on everyone else, uh, but in a very polite way.
of course, very refined and dignified,
Of
of
course.
knightly stature.
Yeah. So we'll have two classy people. We'll have the classy barbarian and the classy paladin.
Very classy front lines of the whole
Oh
party.
yeah.
So yes, that'll get you a plus one to your intelligence, which will be good for like knowing things about the world. And it also gives you some weapon proficiencies, but I think that just becomes a little redundant when you become a paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you also get an extra language here. You're gonna have Common and Elvish, and then get to pick one more. Uh,
Yes. Let's see here. What would make most sense? Now this is an interesting thing because within would Zen, because I did have this question, would Zen maybe is because he's not a celestial, or would he be considered kind
I
of
th-
along those lines?
yeah, I think he could be considered like a celestial, because that's sort of just like any sort of like kind of higher plane being would be kind of categorized
Mhm.
under celestial. So I think that, yeah, like there might be some holy scriptures that you're raised on reading that might be in celestial. That could be an option.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking since being a knight, I may have been in his presence at some point, and or at least his hit. Is it Raver form or Raver farm?
Ravafarn.
River Farm.
Yeah.
He since he's the right hand person, he
hmm
probably speaks. I'm sure he probably speaks celestial, or in my head, I was thinking when he's speaking with Zen. So that would be somewhat appropriate, I think.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good pick there.
Oh, we didn't choose alignment.
Oh yes. I'm not too huge on alignment. I'm not gonna dock you for playing against alignment if you choose to be like,
Okay.
if you say I am lawful good, I'm not gonna be like, you're no longer a paladin if you break the law ever. But I do think
Yes.
alignment is great for like kind of thinking about your character and how they would interact with the world. I think it's
Okay.
it's better as guidelines than like a very sturdy rule. I feel
Yeah.
with alignment. Um, what were you feeling with
Um, that was something I was thinking, because of the fact that her goal, or at least what I'm imagining is that her goal is to be a step above just a regular knight. She wants to be a holy knight. She wants to be closer to Zen, because of the fact that he's basically someone that is, this otherworldly being who believes in destiny, and there's a whole religion dedicated to him, so they're really loyal and loyal followers. So I'm thinking, okay, she's going to be basically follow, she's going to, whatever they're telling her to do, she's going to do it to a T, because she wants to prove herself worthy to become a holy knight eventually.
Okay.
So I was
That's
thinking probably lawful good,
Yeah,
um,
that's definitely lawful. I would say either good or
or
neutral.
neutral. Yeah.
The lawful
Wait.
parts can be you very much follow the laws of your society. You're very kind of ingrained with that. The
Mhm.
good versus neutral is going to be good. Do you like helping people no matter what the cost? Or neutral is going to be kind of more, I help people if it's part of the law.
Yeah, I think probably if it's part of the law, like if it's, if it's according to our teachings. So I may
Hmm.
not necessarily always agree with, the other ventures on helping certain people if we have certain
Right, right.
stipulations to, like, oh, whether or not we're going to actually help you. So maybe neutral, lawful neutral would actually work in this case.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, that definitely sounds very much like a lawful neutral kind of personality. And as a high elf, you also get one cantrip, and I think there's a whole nother tab for that we're gonna be going through on spells.
Okay,
So that's it for race. Got that dialed in there.
let's see
Uh,
here. So then next we got class. Well, obviously we know.
oh yeah, that's
Paladin.
of course.
All
Um,
right.
there we go. Okay, yeah. I think I have to close mine and update it whenever you go to a new
We
tab.
have our weapons. We're
The
ready. Okay. All right.
armaments of a paladin.
Okay. Skill proficiencies. I definitely think she would, for a knight, athletics, like being able to, in combat,
Hmm.
having skill in combat is really important. Hi, everybody. I see some more people joined in. Hi. So definitely I'm thinking athletics for the first one. Um, let's
uh,
see.
yeah. So as a paladin, you're gonna get a few things. You get your hit points are determined by your class. So you're gonna be starting with 10. We're also gonna be leveling up to level 2 today because we're gonna keep you caught up with the party.
Awesome.
Um.
I didn't even have to do anything. We're pretending that I did things
Oh yeah, yeah.
somewhere else in Zen. There we
You've been around the block a little bit. You somehow wound up with where all these people are, and you've done some things in your past, definitely, to
go. Yeah.
earn yourself a level 2. Yeah. So your options as a paladin are athletics, which is like swimming, climbing, jumping,
Mhm,
doing strong stuff. Insight, which is like reading people, being able to tell if somebody's lying to you or picking up on a tick.
mhm,
Intimidation, which is intimidating something. It's how you're able to kind of project yourself in a threatening way.
mhm,
Medicine, which is being able to heal people or diagnose sicknesses. Persuasion, which is using your charisma to ask somebody something nicely, as opposed to intimidation, which is asking somebody not very nicely.
mhm.
And then religion, which is your knowledge of sacred things, knowledge of religious aspects of the world. So we're looking at athletics and any of those other ones jumping out at you.
Hmm. I was definitely thinking about. Um, I think originally I was thinking persuasion,
Okay.
but maybe insight, just being able to kind of determine, whether or not someone might be shifty or a situation could be dangerous.
Hmm.
Kind
Yeah.
of
And
like this, something's not right.
yeah, that's definitely insight's definitely the play for that. That's the kind of check you'd want to make to see if everything's all right. Typically with reading people, like perception is going to be for checking if like a room is all right, while insight
Yes.
is kind of more like a perception check on somebody while they're talking
Hmm.
or how somebody's like physically acting. Yeah, so
So I'm back and
athletics.
forth. I'm like, that, or can I persuade people to be a little charismatic with my belief in that we have a destiny, so I can kind of lift the morale of the team. So there's that part. I'm kind of like, I'm like,
um
do we have someone already like that though? I feel like Ember was Lexi's character was a little bit of that kind of,
Oh yeah, she was very much a unifying force for
yeah.
the party.
So maybe
Um,
I'll be the insight. I'll be the wise one that
okay.
can just, kind of feel of, yeah, we shouldn't trust that orc over there. I see he's looking at us kind of funny.
Now, also mechanically, charisma is going to be a stat that you're going to be using for your spell casting, and that would also
That's
tie
true.
back into persuasion. While insight's going to be off wisdom, which is a little bit less
Yeah.
important for a
Okay, you
paladin.
know what? Okay, let's go with my first choice then.
All right.
Thank you. That did this like answered it for me because I got to remember I'm totally forgetting about the spells right now. I'm just thinking about just
Yeah,
going
yeah.
into battle, just swinging. So yeah,
Yeah. As once you're second level as paladin, you're going to get access to a few spells. So we'll do the level up process once we get
awesome.
through the first hump here. So as a paladin, you get, let's see here. Let's just go down the
I
list here.
love lay on hands.
Yeah, yeah. Lay on
It
hands.
helps so much.
It's really powerful because you have a pool of 5 hit points for every level in paladin that
Mhm.
you can use as an action on your turn. So instead of attacking, this is something you could do. And you could pump as many of those points to heal somebody as you'd like. So if somebody just went down, you could say, okay, you just need 1 hit point to get back up. Here's 1 hit point. Or if you're, say, between fights, like, oh, I got dinged up, you can burn all 5 of them at once and try to top yourself off.
Yeah,
It also has a secondary use where you can burn 5 points at a time to neutralize poisons or diseases on a creature or people.
which definitely comes in handy
Oh yeah,
for sure.
it's a very very powerful like alternate use for it. So it's a very versatile tool that you get a well of basically as you keep getting more and more paladin levels. You're gonna have more and more points for lay on hands to spread out throughout the day. Um, you also get divine sense, which is a little bit fluffy. It's not it's not a huge like crazy combat ability, but if there's, let's see here, what is it used for in this one? It's been changed around a few times, different editions, but in fifth edition, it allows you to know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. So you won't be able to see the detect the zombies if they're like buried underground, but if you're in a room and
Yeah.
somebody's actually a lich, you can be like, oh, divine sense, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
the
I would have came in handy for the the first episode when there were all the zombies everywhere. It's like,
oh
wait,
yeah
guys, wait.
yeah that definitely if you had used
They're
divine
coming for
sense
you.
there, you would be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's zombies, there's undead in this room. You be wary.
Yes.
So it's definitely it's a good it's like a little bit of like a spidey sense sort of thing, where you can know that foul presences are nearby. Um,
I can smell their stench. There we go. All right.
you also get a nice starting pack of equipment for Paladin here. Chainmail, a holy symbol, which you would use to cast your spells, and shields, martial weapons, javelins, a whole bunch of good stuff. We'll be going through your equipment a few tabs down on the Character Mancer here.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got
To
those
next.
2 skills there. And I need to close out and reopen your sheet here. Abilities. All right.
Okay. Here we go.
Here's the meat and potatoes of your character here. So,
I
um,
got my dice.
I am
I'm
I am
ready.
I'm giving players who are joining the Adventurers Guild a choice.
Okay.
Um, to roll for stats or take the standard array. If you roll
Ooh.
for stats and you hate it, I'm being nice, and you can switch over to the standard array.
Okay. I say we got to make it fun, especially for today. So we should definitely roll. I feel like we got to roll,
Might as well give it a shot.
right? Give it a shot. It might end up being better than standard array.
And did you wanna roll and roll 20, or you've got your dice handy? You want to do it like
I
that,
got my
or
dice handy. We can do it.
okay? Yeah. So you're gonna be rolling
Okay.
4d6s for the six-sided dice, and dropping the lowest one, and we're gonna be doing that 6 different times.
All right.
Gotta make sure
So
to.
four. We got 4d6s.
That's right.
All right. So I got. Do we add this up or do you want the individual numbers? How do you want to do it?
We're gonna be doing
Adding it up.
adding the 3 highest of those dice together, and then we're gonna be doing that 6 different times, so to make 6 different numbers.
Okay. So the top three, and then we're adding them together.
That's right.
Okay. So we got. Ooh, 10.
10 on the first one. All right.
Okay.
Very middle of the road.
All right. We got 14.
Not bad, not bad.
Ooh, that's 15.
15. All right. Already, we're doing pretty well. The 15's the highest in the standard array, so you've already got the two highest ones from an array now.
We got 12.
12. All right.
No, actually, oh, no. 13. Sorry, 13.
13. Ooh, even better.
That one's lower. So that one's 8.
Ooh. And one more time. I think you've made the exact standard
Ooh.
array so far.
Okay, then I have, 16.
All right,
No.
except
17.
17. All right, 17's very, very strong, very
Yeah, because that
powerful.
was a 12 and plus 5. Yeah, there we go.
If that last one had been a 12, then you would have just rolled the straight up standard array. So you were like this close to just having the exact same
It's like,
numbers.
I know. I was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, so you can
Oh,
go ahead
gosh.
and just go in custom for ability score method. And this just uses your base numbers. It's going to add all your racial modifiers and things like that to it afterwards,
Okay.
which we should keep track of because you have a +2 to your dex and a +1 to your intelligence. Um,
Okay.
so
So let's see.
so as a paladin, your two biggest ones are going to be strength for swinging your sword, and then charisma is going to be what it uses for any of your spell casting.
Yes. So I definitely want to have, I definitely think I want to have the, like high, definitely high charisma, definitely high strength. So the two, probably 16 charisma, 15 strength,
The 17.
or 17, sorry. I'm
Yeah,
looking,
yeah.
I was like looking at the other screen. I'm like, wait, which number? I forgot the numbers already.
That's a pretty good pick there to put the 17 charisma and then 15 into strength. Um, I know you need a certain amount of strength to wear the heavier armors, but I think 15 will be enough for that. Um, I've got some extra materials on the side here. Plate armor. 15. Yeah. So if you have 15, you can wear all the heavy armor you want, and you'll be fine.
Okay. And then what was the next highest?
The next highest is a 14. And you also have a +2 in your dexterity and a +1 in your intelligence. Um, so a 14 dex could be pretty good. That'd get bumped up to 16, and that'd get you better initiative.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think, yeah, let's do that.
or you could put the 14 into con because dexterity isn't going to be as important for a paladin if you're wearing heavy armor.
So
Um,
17, and then we said 15 strength.
uh-huh.
Dexterity was the, it was 14, right?
Yeah, we can put 14 in there. Another good option for that 14, because that's your third highest one, could be in Constitution, just to get a nice health pool going.
That's true. Because the, was there was a 12? Am I correct?
Let's see, we have 15, or 17, 15, 14, 13, 10, 8.
13. Okay. So because I do have the extra for dexterity, I
Mm-hmm.
can choose the lower, I can choose the lower for that and do 14 constitution.
Yeah, and that'll get you 2 extra health every level.
And then dexterity we said was 13.
So with the 13, one thing you might want to do with that is put it into intelligence, because you do have that +1.
That's true. And that makes
And
it 14.
right, and in D&D, the numbers on these stats don't really matter so much, but what really matters are called modifiers, and your modifier goes up every 2 points. So every even point is like a good break point.
Got it.
So that +1 wouldn't really do much if it was on like a 10 or a 12, but having the 13 intelligence would make it a 14, and you get another plus. You end up having a +2 to your intelligence. Um,
Great.
that little break point, which would help with any sort of like history or knowledge checks.
Okay. And then dexterity, yeah, I feel like it's totally okay if, because it kind of makes it kind of funny if somebody is like more intelligent than they are wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
um So yeah, I definitely want the next highest to be dexterity,
Okay.
and that was the
Did we put the 13 into intelligence, or
13 to intelligence.
okay? So we've got two left.
We got two left.
So we have a 10 and an 8.
Yeah, so 10, because with dexterity it would then make it
12.
would make it 12,
Yeah,
which isn't bad.
you'd have a +1, but that would only really be big for like dexterity saves, like ducking out of the way of a fireball, and for initiative. Dexterity isn't going to be factored into your AC if you're wearing heavy armor. Heavy armor acts as like kind of a level playing field, so you can have a character with really bad dexterity but wearing heavy armor and be fine like that. Um,
Okay. And then we got the lowest, which is 8. All right. Yeah, so okay, so far, because I'm thinking, I mean, even though, no, I think that'll work.
yeah. So an 8 isn't like the worst possible stat. You're gonna have a -1 in it. But that's kind of going to reflect your character might be a little bit naive,
Yes.
kind of a little bit not super like worldly.
Mhm.
Their intelligence is pretty decent with the 14. It's a +2. So they've definitely read a lot of books, but they might not have gotten the opportunity to really go out and explore the world so much.
Now, Thaddeus asked, what's the best stat modifier for saving throws in general?
There's three really kind of three saving throws that are more common than the other three. So the three common ones are dexterity, constitution, and wisdom. And then the three kind of rare ones are strength, intelligence, and charisma. Um, Most spells are going to be more in the first three than the later three, but there are exceptions to that. Um, like making a charisma saving throw is actually kind of a rare thing. It mostly comes up with kind of like when a magic weapon tries to like take over your mind. That'd be a charisma saving throw. If something's trying to shunt you into another dimension, it's a charisma saving throw. But um, the dexterity, constitution, and wisdom are very much more common. And every class actually in D&D gets one of the common saving throws and one of the uncommon ones. So I think as a paladin, you get constitution and charisma saving throws, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly.
I think so, if I'm not
Uh,
mistaken.
so con's the common one, and
Yeah.
then charisma's the kind of rarer saving throw. And every class is kind of set up like that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's solid. So we have the 15 strength, 12 dexterity, which is not bad. It could be way worse.
Oh yeah,
14 constitution, 14 intelligent, um, 8 for wisdom, and I am one charismatic paladin at
very much
17
so.
charisma. Pretty
Indeed.
strong too, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. So this one is pretty easy for background.
Hmm.
Definitely soldier, because she's a knight, so she's basically dedicated her life to protecting the kingdom of Zen.
Perfect. That's going to double you up on athletics. So you might want to go back and so yeah, soldiers. So these backgrounds that you choose for characters, basically what they were doing before they became an adventurer, what they did before they were a paladin in this case, or what they did before they were a barbarian. So you were a soldier before then, and this is going to give you skill proficiencies, tool proficiencies, and a little bit more flavor about your background of your character. So as a soldier, you're going to get athletics and intimidation.
Ooh,
Intimidation is going to stack really well with that charisma, so you'll be able to both persuade and intimidate people.
great.
And that you can actually click back to class then if we're going to be choosing soldier.
Okay.
And you could swap out that athletics for something else from your paladin options there.
All right. So you know what? Let's go ahead and then do that insight.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, get them all now.
All right.
And we can hop back to background.
Okay.
Um, you get land vehicle proficiency. So if anybody needs to drive a wagon, you're definitely qualified for that task. Also a gambling set, a gaming set, either dice, dragon chess, playing cards, or three dragon ante. They're all
I love how they just assume you're a gambler. If you're a soldier, you've been on the road, you trying to make some extra cash on the side, so you just out there just rolling dice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, soldiering
Oh
is
my
mostly
gosh.
it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting around. So you definitely had a time to pick up on those. Um,
Um, I think I want to say I'm rolling dice in the streets. I know Thaddeus is like dragon chess. But I see her secretly. Who knows? Maybe that was her thing that got her kind of caught up. She was a secret gambler. I don't know, like
all right, all right.
in
I
the
dig
back
it. I
alleys
dig
of
it.
Zen.
Got a little bit
Her
of a vice
one,
problem, but
her one Achilles heel.
there we
She
go.
just, oh man, I got that itch for that dice. We got to
Perfect.
do it. Okay.
Now this also gives you a lot of suggestions for personality traits for your character. This is all very this like personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Has some mechanical stuff in the game that I don't really interface with too much. There's a whole mechanic called inspiration that is supposed to be if somebody gets themselves in trouble because of their ideals, bonds, or flaws, or if they're just role playing really well, then you're supposed to give them inspiration. But what are you supposed to
Okay.
do when everybody's just role playing really well all
I
the
know.
time? Like I
I mean,
don't.
and the group that you guys have, they're all so good. So
Yeah, yeah.
I like Thaddeus is like dragon dice. Yes, I'm rolling dragon dice in the back streets of Kingdom Zen. Okay, but yeah, no, everybody's so good.
Yeah, so I don't really put a lot of stock in inspiration. If you want some help figuring out about your character's personality traits or things like that, you can go through these lists that are offered to you
Yes,
for your background. But it's not something that I really put too much stock
and
into.
that's the specialty part where it's like the scout infantry.
Yeah,
You
it's
like to put
specialty,
my
and then
scout
below that it
in.
has like personality traits like I'm always polite and respectful. I'm haunted by memories of war. I've lost too many friends. I think these are like
Yeah.
if you're having
Um.
trouble, I like to say this
Let's
is like
see.
if you've never played D&D before and you can't figure out your character, this is good like starting off point. Be like, "Oh, what's up with my character? Okay, here's some things I can pull back to." So you can choose these if you want or not. It's up to
I'll
you.
definitely do personality traits. The specialty, I feel like uh the ones that I see, I feel like it's a little it in my head, but tell me if I'm wrong. Kingdom of Zen is a little bit different from your typical military
Yes.
situation, so I kind of I don't see necessarily kind of the the right
Yeah.
fit for her character, at least what I have in mind.
Right.
Um, and let me see. But I do believe that she would be very polite and respectful
Okay.
because she's a classy lady, classy paladin. Uh,
And
I think I face problems head on,
okay.
definitely.
And definitely don't feel confined by these at all. These are just these are just suggestions for people who have never really role played before on like what their character could be. Is how I
Oh,
like
for
to look
sure.
at them.
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely would be I have responsibility as far as I do what I'm told and I obey
Mhm.
authority because I'm trying to become a holy knight. So I'm going to pay attention to everything and do it 100%, 110%. Let's see. Do, do, do. My honor is my life. Oh, here we go with the flaws. Wait, do we have one about throwing bones in the back streets of Zen? I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know if that's
Oh,
just
I obey the law even if the law causes misery.
there we go.
There
That,
we go.
that ties into the campaign pretty well. As that's a very lawful neutral flaw to have there. All right. Looks like
Okay.
we'll be moving on to equipment next.
Ooh, my favorite part.
So you have a choice here. You can either roll the bones to see what gold you get, and then we could thumb through the book and look at all the equipment and pick things out, or they could just give you all the important stuff.
Um, yeah, let's throw the bones.
Oh, we going in with starting wealth? You wanna dig deep like this?
Yeah, I mean we could. Um 5d4. Um why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. Where's my
I have to pull up some books here real quick.
Oh, actually, wait. If I click it, will it? I'll be fair. Like, will they see me if I roll it?
Yeah,
Will
yeah,
they
it'll
see?
show up in chat. It'll be all over the
Okay.
place. We'll
All
we'll
right.
see it.
So then you know that I'm being
We'll
honorable
see
about
it
this
live.
gold.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have need you to. There we go. 140.
That's not bad.
So out
That's
of
pretty good.
5d4, yeah, out of 200, yeah, it's not bad.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
I'm not broke.
All right, so that does mean that you do not get the base starting equipment from your character from Paladin.
No. Is that
Um,
what it means?
it means it means you have 140 gold that we need to go spend on all your equipment now.
Oh man.
It means we're gonna do a little bit
My
of
ultimate
shopping.
J&J. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I got to do shopping. But
Yeah.
will I have enough? That is the question. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
uh,
I'm, I
let's
guess this
see.
is more fun to kind of just roll the die and it's
Yeah.
either going to be a good day or bad day for this paladin. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, I went too far forward.
Um, that's it. Yeah. So we have the 140 gold here. Let me see if it's updated your sheet. I don't think it's
The
gonna.
shopping spree, they're like, cue the shopping scene from K drama. do, 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 do. Oh, I like
uh,
that shield. Like that sword.
so yeah, this we're gonna have to do this afterwards actually. But just remember that you have 140
Okay,
gold to throw around
no
on this
worries.
here.
We will figure that out.
Hmm. Next up we have spells,
Okay. Ooh, okay, perfect.
and I believe at level 1 you're just gonna have your your cantrip from being a high elf. Um, Now I need to remember how exactly this works. Let's see here, high elf. Do cantrip. One cantrip of your choice from the wizard spell list. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for it. So this is your boosted up intelligence is actually going to come into play here, as you get one fancy little high elf cantrip here. Um,
Ooh.
and
Okay,
there
so
are a
let's
lot of
see here.
options.
There's so many options. Okay, so we got okay, acid splash, blade ward, chill touch, control flames, create bonfire, dancing lights, which it's helpful, but I have dark vision, so
It's true.
I don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
Um, firebolt. I always love a good firebolt. Let me
Fire.
tell you.
It,
Um,
it's a pretty good one.
let's see. We got frostbite, gust, Eberron. So now I don't know what that. What's the difference between the regular
Um,
gust and the other?
I'm not sure how much of a difference there is. It's just basically they reprinted it into a different book. I think it was in Xanathar's Guide at first, and then they did a reprinting in the Eberron book. I'm not sure how it got changed though.
Okay. We got
Um,
mage hand, which is mage hand comes in handy too. Mending message, sending messages to people. Minor illusion is always great. You can kind of distract the enemy with creating sounds or, where they see something maybe.
mhm.
Um, Prestidigitation is always funny because you can kind of isn't that the one where you can actually make it
Yeah,
like, oh, my armor's dirty. Let me clean myself up.
yeah. You can like clean your armor. It's basically like parlor tricks. Anything like that could kind of fall under prestidigitation.
See, we got Ray of Frost, Shape Water, Shocking Grasp, Thunderclap, Toll the Dead, and True Strike. Now, is True Strike the same as because I don't want to do that because thinking of Paladin, because I do know a little bit about
Hmm.
Paladin, where it's like there's one in particular that is basically almost kind of the equivalent of True Strike. So I wouldn't want to waste it. It's
Uh,
like when you're channeling divinity, I think.
I think what True Strike does is it takes an action to cast it, but then your next attack has advantage or something like that.
Yeah,
It's a little bit underwhelming.
yeah. I think I want to go firebolt.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to set people aflame
It's
if
good to have a
they are
ranged
dangerous.
option like that as a
And
paladin.
120 feet, you can't beat that. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. So you don't really need to like lug a bow around. You can just if you can't hit it with your sword, you can bop it with the fireball real quick. Firebolt.
Yeah, yeah. It's like stay back.
Yeah.
I do love too that at higher levels, then that's when we get to roll the extra
Oh yeah.
extra d10s.
Yeah. There's the
Gotta love that.
So cantrips are spells that really have no limit. You can keep using them over and over.
Mhm.
More powerful spells, you have limited uses of it per day, but firebolt's always like something you're gonna be able to fall back on. And
Yeah.
as you level up, it's going to scale. So
Yeah,
you get
I
this.
totally would have chosen Eldritch Blast because that's one of my favorites. But obviously, we don't have that option.
Yeah, I think elves just get it from the wizard list, and I think
Yeah.
that's a warlock exclusive right there.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
so I don't believe you have any feats. Nope.
No,
Go on to the
unless
next.
I don't know if that was like even an option for everyone. Now, this is my favorite. Okay, because I already know her name.
Oh, really?
Yes. Um, and I, at least in my head, I was like, this name works. So I want her to be Talia Presgwin, and then her nickname amongst her friends is Leah.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm gonna fill that in. Let me do that now.
You had that figured out and knocked out. The name's always the
Yes.
hardest part for me.
I That's one thing that I love picking names.
Okay,
So I'll just do yeah, Presquin. Yeah.
perfect.
Okay. Um Age. You never ask a woman's age. Oh, um I'm being just overly dramatic. I
Yeah,
apologize.
I'm looking up. Let's see here. Although elves reach physical maturity about the same age as humans, the
Oh,
elf.
he said old.
Well,
Rude.
I mean, you're an
Fuck
elf,
rude.
so an elf typically claims adulthood and an adult name around the age of 100 and can live to be
Yes.
750 years old. Um,
Yes. So like if she's okay, so adulthood, we're considering 100 being like 18,
give or
kind
take.
of.
Was we're also not going to be in like a typical elven society, so it's possible that you could be considered an adult at a younger age if you wanted to be like a bit of a younger elf.
Okay. I want her to be a little seasoned.
Okay,
Um, so let's like what 120 would
sounds
be
fair.
like 20s.
Yeah, yeah, I could dig that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming I'm not the oldest of the group. If I am, then I'm just the older, veteran
I
adventurer to help assist the youngins.
most of the rest of the group is human, so I think a 120-year-old elf is definitely going to be the oldest one of the party. But you don't look a day over 500, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we live till to be like 700, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
look I look just as young as everyone else, at least
exactly.
in my head. All right. Usually elves are pretty tall. And I'm gonna I
They're a
don't
bit
know.
on the shorter side in D&D actually, but they have actually a pretty big variance. There's actually a table you can roll on to see your height and weight if you wanted to roll that randomly.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, yeah. There's different modifiers for each one of the races. So as an elf would start at 4'6" and then add
Oh my
2d10
gosh.
inches to that. Um,
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just go with a solid 5'8". Can I do
okay,
that?
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not gonna like leave that in the fate of the like roll of the die. I
Yeah.
have a feeling I would end up like I mean, and then I'm in halfling territory. Okay,
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
not sure about that. I want her to be like for me being short. Well, I'm not super tiny, but I'm still shorter than 5'8". So I like to imagine like with heels. If I didn't have to put on heels, 5'8" is a solid choice.
There we go.
Okay, weight. Uh, I'm assuming 130 is solid, right?
All right.
For
Yeah.
muscular.
Yeah.
She's muscular. All right. Um, I see her having really cool, unique, like gray eyes, kind of
Ooh.
silvery.
Ooh, that's cool. A silvery
I love
eye
my
color.
colored contacts, so I always have fun with that.
Ah.
For her hair, I definitely want to go with black.
Okay.
Skin, because my skin is a golden from the sun. We're going to say tan.
There we go.
And elves can be tan. So
Yeah.
elves can be so many different colors, especially if you're a drow, then you're really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I
Perfect. So I
think
think
we did it.
that's the last tab there. Head on over to review, and
All
I
right,
think
let's
I
do
need to
it.
close out of it right now. I can mess it up and hit apply changes.
Greetings and salutations to you, King. How's it going? All right. So apply changes.
Yep, apply changes, and all that
Perfect.
should.
Yay!
And there
We
we
did
go.
it!
We got
We
we got a full on
did it!
sheet here.
Woo! Little
Um,
victory.
so now
Of course,
you.
I do know how to actually properly wield a sword. I just am being stupid. So ignore it because I'm like, what is she doing? I'll try to look cool. Don't worry. When we do the thing, I'll try to be as impressive as Alex when he wields Scarlet.
So now we have a little bit of shopping to do. You've got
Okay.
140 gold to spend on your starting equipment here.
All right.
Um, if you could open your player's handbook to chapter 5, it's got the equipment table on it. But
Wait, let me see. Oh yeah, because I'm like, wait, I don't see. Actually, well, oh man, I should have brought. If I totally didn't think about it, I should have. We have a player's handbook. I
oh,
just don't have it on me.
it's all right. I was joking around mostly. Um, but you can actually hit. There's a the letter I in a circle in the top right here of roll 20,
Oh yes. Okay.
and it should say D&D 5th edition, and we can actually search for items and things
Oh, I see
through
it. Items.
this.
Okay.
Yes, but it's not exactly the best layout of things. Um,
Um. Well, I do want. Okay. For I don't know if it did it give me an option um for dueling for like holding like two-handed like a two-handed like holding it two-handed and then being able to inflict more damage. I know
like
that
a
it
fighting
does
style.
fighting
You get
style.
a
Yeah.
fighting style at level 2. So would you want to go ahead and do the level up before
Yeah,
we?
let's do that because that definitely dictates the type of weapon
Okay.
if we can.
So I just updated your experience points at the top of your
Perfect.
sheet to 300, and there should be a
Yay.
little cog right there now that says Character
Yeah.
Mancer level up. Oh, not the cog. Actually, no, not the cog.
Oh, not the card.
The hammer and the
The
mace.
hammer and the
It should say
mace.
Character Mancer
Got it.
level up right there.
Okay, levels. All right. Oh, we can roll again.
Yeah, so you level up. You can either take the average or roll HP. I'd recommend taking the average.
Okay.
It's because that's
All
how
right,
it
we did
works
it.
out. Um,
Did it show up? I clicked it, but I
yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if it
but
did.
it's just rolling the average, so it's taking the 6 out of 10. Um,
You said what is it like wearing color contacts? Does the world become rose tinted based on the color you're wearing? That would actually be really cool. I don't think they created lenses that can do that just yet. Or else we would all be seen through rose colored lenses. But it's actually not bad. I actually don't have perfect vision, so I wear glasses and contacts regularly. So it's luckily there's a lot of great sites where you can get really good lenses and get them in different colors. So I definitely do that.
oh, do they make prescription like colored contacts?
They do, and
Oh,
even some people didn't even know that for when I cosplayed Storm, I actually used white mesh lenses that were prescription. So
oh,
if
nice.
you guys didn't know if whether or not that exists, it does. I think the same for the Scalera as well.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I've never really messed around with colored contacts too much. I used to wear contacts, but I had LASIK done a few years ago.
Oh,
So
that's nice. I'm so scared to go underneath the laser. I'm like,
it's
they're gonna burn my cornea.
it was one of the more horrifying things I've ever done, but I think it was worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got our level up going on here.
Okay.
You got the
And then
six
do I do
extra
next?
health, and then yeah, next, because we're telling to give you one paladin level, unless you wanted to multi-class at level 2, just an
No,
option.
not yet. Okay, yes, because I like dueling because you gain a +2 bonus, 2 damage rolls with your weapon.
Yes, when you have a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, I don't think a shield counts as a weapon. I think that's an armor.
Yeah, because great weapon fighting, that's more of a. I feel like it's solid with the dueling. I like the +2. It always is very helpful.
Perfect. All right. So you get the
Oh,
fighting style, and you also get your spells.
yes. I love this. Okay. Whew.
So, yes, paladins are one of the complicated types of spellcasters, where
Hmm.
you actually have access to every single level 1 paladin spell. And when you wake up in the morning, you say your prayers to Zin, and he grants you the spells you
Thank
need
you,
for the
Zen.
day. Um, Generally, we're just gonna pick 4, and that's what you have set out, loaded out, ready to go for that day at on set. Um, Switching spells, I don't know if we're gonna have too much of opportunities for that. So just have the 4 that you want kind of ready to go
Okay.
for the adventure, really. Um,
All
so
right.
a lot of
Let me
options here.
see. Yes, I definitely I do have lay on hands, but I mean cure wounds is always great.
It's a good one to fall back on.
It's always good. Um
Let's see here.
I love command is great because you know if you're able to roll a good roll, you can make people grovel,
Oh
you
yeah,
make them flee. I love command, so I'm definitely going with that one.
command's definitely a good
Um,
one.
uh, Shield of Faith is pretty great
It's a
because you can protect other people.
Yeah, it's a +2 to AC, but it's also concentration. And you can only have one concentration spell going at a time. So if you
Yeah,
were to have, like, say, both Bless and Shield of Faith, you can only have one of those going at a time.
but like for like for command or like well, see, I'm trying to think. Searing Smite is like smite. If you are doing smite, then that's basically that's not concentration, correct? I'm pretty sure it's like a bonus action.
Um, the Paladin Smite or your like Thundering Smite spell? Because there's actually a difference. When you hit,
Oh, it is a concentration, so that would break the
yes,
other one if I did something like that. Got
it's
it.
because like something like Thunderous Smite or Searing Smite, you use a bonus action to cast it on your weapon, and that'll
Mm-hmm.
last on your weapon until you hit something with it. So even if you bonus action put it on and you miss, it'll still be on there the next turn when you can swing again. That's why you have to
Okay.
concentrate on it.
But right now I do have channel divinity, correct?
At level, I don't think you get that till level 3 actually,
Level
as a
3.
paladin.
Ah, got it.
Level 3 is where you're gonna
Okay.
choose like your flavor, your subclass, and that also gives you channel divinity based on your subclass.
Okay, let's see. So, ooh, there's so many good choices. Okay,
So we got command, cure wounds, and yeah, a lot of other options here.
yes. I'm trying to think. Okay, detect evil and good. You can you'll know where they're located.
Yeah,
That's great. That comes in handy because protection from evil and good is also too nice. In the sense that you know the creature has disadvantage,
hmm
but then I do like being able to know where things are located.
yeah. Both of those are they're very good if you if you have a very encyclopedic knowledge of D&D and you're like, oh, this is an aberration or a celestial. I can use this spell in this situation.
Yeah,
They can be they're a little bit what's the word situational like that.
yeah.
Um, Whereas having 2 AC is almost always good in any situation, in any fight with Shield of Faith.
Is this live or fake live? This is live
This is live for real.
this is live. We're live. Okay. See, and then when if this gets replayed later, then it's going to confuse people because they're
Oh
going to
yeah,
think that it's live.
definitely,
And I'm
definitely.
like, just kidding.
Assuming somebody
Um,
asked the same question at the same point, then yeah.
um, okay. The pressure. Okay. Wait. Divine. I now I'm trying to remember. Okay. Oh, I like that. Divine favor. You get radiance. Extra 1d4 radiant damage on a hit.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty good.
That one's great. I'm going with that. Okay, and then God finally channel is never live no more. Well, soon, soon. we're they're working
Yeah.
on it. It
Yeah.
takes a lot.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
lot to put on the show.
Yeah, we have to make
Um,
make new characters too with our fantastic
yeah.
adventurers. So
Okay, because of the fact that I feel like I don't want to waste a spell slot on smite necessary. Well, but then that does come in handy. But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna eventually get channel divinity, and I don't want to repeat things.
we have I think you get it at level 2 as a paladin. You get divine smite, where when you hit with a melee attack, you can burn one of your spell slots to do extra damage.
See, if I that was what I was curious about. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
go shield of faith because I want to make sure that I can protect my
perfect.
team. And
Cool.
I can still do radiant damage because I can do divine favor, and I'll be able to still do that,
Yeah, and you can
which
and
is
you can do
great.
your paladin smites as well.
Yes. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's
All
do it.
right. Just close and reopen real quick, and there we
Apply
go.
changes.
We have learned these spells: Command, Cure Wounds, Divine Favor, and Shield of Faith. Perfect. And you've gone from 12 to 20 hit points. All right, go ahead and hit that apply changes, and
Yep.
should update your sheet here. So I didn't break
Listen, you cannot rush perfection, my friend.
it.
Patience is a virtue that everyone must have. These are the wise words from Zen. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Getting the character here. Yeah. So we've got this 140 gold burning a hole in your pocket now. Um,
Okay, time to. Okay, all right,
so
all
you
right, guys. This is the best part. We gotta choose weapons.
so you mentioned you wanted to swing a sword around.
Yes, I want. If I can get my hands on a nice great sword
A
or
great
long
sword
sword
or
or a
long?
long
So you
sword, because
were
I mean,
you're
great sword might be
duelist.
expensive.
You're a duelist though, right? Which is a one-handed weapon user. Your fighting style,
No, do
dueling.
well. Oh yeah, great sword is two handed, but if I
Yes.
can find a good solid long sword, preferably with a plus, that'd be great.
I don't know about a plus. It's just starting
I
off here,
know.
but we can definitely get a regular longsword here. I'm pulling it
Yep.
up so we can actually drag things from the compendium onto your sheet here, which I'm going to do. If I
Okay.
can find how much this thing costs, which does
I
not tell
hope.
me. Um,
Fingers crossed.
let's see here. If I can find a nice table.
Oh, I like that. Zote the Fool. The greatest virtue is the will to act. Do not hesitate. You must take action.
Ooh.
Yes. Patience is a virtue we cannot afford. Yes, you can. I believe in you. All right.
Let's see here. 15 gold pieces, so that'll bump you down. We'll get you the longsword for 15 gold here. And I can just drag and drop, boop,
And so that
onto there.
doesn't, so I can't basically, well, the thing is that with dueling, it's like if I choose, like so I would have a disadvantage for the greatsword, but I could wield one.
You
Or
wouldn't
no.
have disadvantage. You just want to get that +2 to damage. Um,
Yeah. See, and I do want the extra damage. Okay. Yeah. Let's stick with it. Great swords just look cooler.
oh, that was the wrong longsword. See,
All right.
there we go.
Was
Just
that
drop.
a plus? Can I get a +1? +1
No,
longsword?
no,
Dang
that's
it.
it. That's outside your price range. It'd be a little bit more than 140 gold for that.
No. Okay. All right. I was just getting greedy, so I apologize.
It's all right. All right, so that's 15 off. So we're down to 125.
Okay. Do
Probably
I
want to.
already have a shield? Like I already
You have nothing. You have a sword
have
now.
nothing.
That's it.
Oh my goodness,
You
because
have
I
a
didn't do
sword
starting
120.
equipment.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do. We definitely need a shield.
Okay.
That's
Grab
because
that.
that's necessary, especially because I can swing, but I'll still have my shield up and ready. Um.
Just regular little shield here. Adding that
Yeah.
to your sheet. And you look up the price. Item shield 10 gold. So that brings you down to
Perfect.
115.
I'll make it fancier later and get like Zen's face on the front. It'll be or like him, holding a great sword or something. It'll be great. But
Oh yeah.
that's down the road. Down the road.
I mean, these
Keep it
these
plain and
these
simple.
starting items aren't necessarily like, oh, you just went out to the store and bought whatever right away. This is just like what your character has on you, and over
Yeah.
time, you've accumulated this 140 gold worth of stuff. Um,
Okay.
so we got our shield there. You probably want to get some armor of some sort.
Definitely. That's you can't be a proper paladin and knight of Zen without your armor.
Let's
So
see
yes.
here. Heavy armor table. So I can do. You can get ring mail for 30 gold, chain mail for 75, and then splint is 200, which is out of your.
Yeah, that's too much.
Actually,
Now, okay, that's heavy armor, but then I do have a disadvantage for stealth attacks with heavy.
with some of them, most of them, yes, you would have disadvantage for sneaking around because it'd be a bunch of armors, kind of like.
Yeah. Now, what about can we take a look at our medium armor? Because I know that then my stealth attacks won't be limited. I think if I have
Um,
medium, right?
yeah, there's actually a table I want to pull up here from the PHB. Because it's just so much easier than looking through all these other ways they have it. Or do they have it in Roll 20? Let me see. They have just like a nice armor table.
And if you
Uh,
guys have any more questions, please feel free in the chat. I'm as you see, I'm watching you. Well, not literally watching you because that would be creepy. But looking at the chat.
yeah, I've got an eye on chat too, but I have a lot of things open right
Oh
now
no,
as
yeah,
well.
you're
So
you're 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 doing a lot. So that's why I'm like I'm trying to make sure that I can lighten that load because Mr. DM handling his business constantly. You have a lot to keep track of. So
I appreciate you keeping an eye on things like that. All right, so here are your options for armor. Here, I found that the table that actually had it in Rule 20. It's nice and handy. So you could go with in your price range, um, a chain shirt, which would get you 14 AC for 50 gold, and you would not have disadvantage on stealth. Scale mail, which would get you 15 AC, but you would have disadvantage on stealth. Or a chain mail, which is heavy armor, which would give you 16 AC, but you would have disadvantage on stealth. Um,
um oh I I would have loved that breastplate.
it's a little
But
bit out of the price range,
we're
though.
dang it. All right, so we're gonna go with let's go with the chain shirt for now.
Okay.
Because
Chain
that makes it 14.
14, and the shield will get you up to
14.
16 AC.
No, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's solid.
it's good. That's a good like level 1, level 2 frontline fighter here. So, uh, chain shirt.
He said, I know, fair play to him. D&D is so confusing. That's why I won't play it. You know what? I also too, that was what I was a little intimidated by D&D at first, but I definitely wanted to learn. I played before D&D, I played a game, RuneQuest, which is kind of similar to D&D, but it's different rules and things. But you create a character and you work with a party, like the Adventurers Guild. But I like once you have like someone, like I had friends who taught me, like my roommates, kind of sat us down, walked us through it, and you go through your first campaign. And usually DMs like Jobo are amazing, who basically will, if you have questions, they will answer them and tell you if it's possible. So don't let that stop you, just because there is, like, when you get to higher levels, there's a lot of math and a lot of stuff to remember. But I'm telling you, it's been such a fun journey. I would highly recommend you at least, maybe find a group who are just starting out, and then find a good DM who's willing to kind of sit down and like teach you guys and like walk you through it. But it's so much fun. I would hate for you to game not try it.
Yeah,
You
and
have to try it. It's so fun. I promise, no regrets. Sometimes it's like math, like we're with the calculator a little bit, because I don't mental math either. Sometimes I'm like, wait, woo. Especially higher levels, it's like a lot. But once you get the hang of it, it's so much fun.
this is definitely like one of the more confusing parts is making your character, because there's like all these new terms getting thrown at you left, right, and center, and you're like,
Yeah.
what is this? And oh, I got to do math for that. There's a lot of online tools like what we're using that can really streamline the whole process,
Oh yeah.
and you can just kind
And
of like,
D&D Beyond is amazing too. So
indeed,
if
yeah,
it walks you through the process, and it has everything up there, resources, and they even have like Paladin 101, and like different characters each week, where you can learn how to build that type of character and how the character works, and the different things about races and classes, things like that. So yeah.
yeah. And also, if you're playing online, like a lot of people are nowadays, if you're on something like Roll20 like this, you can actually, if I see on your sheet right here, you see longsword, I can just click that, and then boom, it rolls it for you and adds all your numbers together. And
Yeah.
Puts it
And
right in there.
D&D Beyond does that too, which is great. So then
Yeah.
you don't have to do the math, because if you want to just do it the easy way, just roll. Now in the situation with InstaQuest, we have to roll. So
Mm-hmm.
so we got to do the maths in our head. But luckily at home, if you're, without the stress of live stream or anything like that, you're able to kind of, take your time and figure it out, which is great.
Yeah.
Yay, the Geek Live. Hey, hey. He said D&D is more open and modern day DMs are awesome people. Yeah, like Jobo.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them try to not gatekeep, but to help people into the hobby. That is so true. Yes,
Yeah, there's
exactly.
there's this old like Gygaxian ideal that like, oh, it needs to be as impenetrable as possible, and you're not quite nerdy enough to sit at the table and roll dice with me. Oh no, a lightning bolt hits your character, you're dead. Come back once you've learned how to roll
Like,
d20s better.
you don't know what an Eldritch Blast is? How dare! No, it's like, no, not anymore. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
community's great. I love this community.
yeah. It's definitely opened up a lot more with the more recent editions of the game being a lot more streamlined, a lot more accessible, and everybody just wants to come together and tell stories together. And that's what D&D's about.
Yeah.
Um, so we got your chain shirt. Set you back 50 gold.
Okay. All right.
You've got 65 left. You think you got basically the bare essentials. You got a sword, you got a shield, you got some armor on. You're ready to
Yeah.
go adventuring. I'd recommend there's kits that they sell. Um,
Yes. Now, what is the one that's normally? There's one specific for paladins that they normally have, and they're usually set with.
that they would have been
Oh yeah, I
offered.
see it. That is, yes. That's what we're gonna get our pack. Yeah.
Let me see here in this list. I think it's almost everybody gets offered a Dungeoneers pack. I think. Paladin. It says Priest pack or Explorers pack, and see if we can just find a list of all the different packs.
Yeah, I want to see what's in. I forgot what's in each of those,
Here we
because I
go.
know that it's like dungeon is different from the other one for sure.
Yeah, we gotta. If you search in the top right, if you hit the I in the circle, the letter I in the circle, and type in packs, there's adventuring gear, equipment, and packs that should come up.
Let's see, I do. There we go. Equipment. There we go. Aha! Perfect. Okay, so Dungeoneer's pack has backpack, a crowbar, hammer, torches, kittens, tinderbox, 10 days of rations, water skin. Okay.
That's
Oh,
a
and 50 feet of rope. That's always good.
Yeah, and it's a very affordable 12 gold pieces, so that's a good option
And
there.
then the Explorers pack, it's a little bit cheaper. I think that's the one that I can choose from. It's backpack, bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, 10 torches, rations, water skin. Um, I mean, I want to kind of save some money.
It's a good idea.
I think I'm gonna go with just Explorers pack,
Okay.
because um, with the crowbar comes in handy sometimes, but I don't use it that often.
Yeah.
I got in a hammer. I'm like, I don't really use that. We usually just use our brute strength, right?
There you go.
No. All right, I'll go with that.
Yeah, so the
The
Explorer's Pack is
Explorers.
gonna get you everything you really need there for just 10 gold. So got 55 left if there was anything special you really wanted, because
Hmm.
that's basically like everything you would really need is there. You got the pack with like all your
Yeah.
adventuring gear, you got your sword, you got your shield, you got your armor.
Let me see. Let's see.
And there's a lot of the kind of goofball adventuring stuff you can dig around and find. We don't need to like have this
Good.
100%
I think
pat
that's
down.
solid.
Yeah.
I think that's solid. I think that we're good.
Okay. Yeah. And if there's anything else you wanna grab, go ahead and you can add that to your sheet
Yeah.
and deduct the gold between
Yeah.
now and when we have our next session. Um,
Great.
but
I can tell a little bit of the backstory too, what I kind of
yeah.
thought about.
Yeah, we got your mechanics all sorted out here. We got a little bit of the backstory of of the Holy Kingdom that you're from, but let's hear what you've got for your characters' backstory
Yeah.
themselves.
Okay. So pretty much with Talia, as we know, she comes from basically generations of knights that served the kingdom of Sin. So they were loyal followers of Zen. They definitely are religious people. She is the only child of her mother and father. Her father's name is Azrios, and her mother's name is Tanelia,
Okay.
and or Tanelia, if that's easier. Um, and basically, she trained under Ravafarn,
Okay.
who was the right hand of Tizin, and in hopes of trying to basically achieve her goal of becoming a holy knight, which
Gotcha.
is considered like the greatest honor
Hmm.
there is, to become and be knighted as a holy knight, to Zen, because everyone obviously, they follow him and respect him. And she ends up getting an order from Robert Farn that she's to, go in search of this adventurers guild and assist them. And she's, because apparently she's asking him why, like, this is a unique request,
Yeah. Yeah.
why am I going to
Go
this
off and be an adventurer for a
going
little bit. You know, like.
exactly, because I'm like, I should be here, I should be serving the kingdom. And he's like, well, this was a direct order from Zen
Okay.
for you to go on this journey with this guild. It's a part of the plan. And of course, after hearing that, I mean, if Zen says it's a part of the plan, I must follow it. So I decided to go and search the guild, to join up with them, because really all I want to do, I grew up basically looking up to my father, and
Mm.
who was obviously a very respected, knight for the kingdom, and he trained me. He did not, obviously, my mother and father did not bear a son. It's kind of unique for a woman to have such a, kind of to have a position such as a
Mm.
knight, to be in that position. But she wants to prove herself worthy, of becoming a holy knight, even though, despite that she's a female, that doesn't restrict her from showing that she is just as strong, just as capable,
Of course.
to hold that position. So that's pretty much kind of a little bit of backstory on, you know, on kind of her beginnings and
Yeah.
her family background. Obviously they're very connected to the kingdom, so she's doing what she can to bring honor to her family name, continue that, because obviously generations, they're well known, in the kingdom. And she doesn't want to ruin that reputation just because she's a lady. She's going to still show that she can hold it down, she can represent
Excellent.
the Presguins.
Yeah, I dig it. I really love it. It's a young upstart paladin out in the world trying, well, not really young, 120 years young, upstart paladin out in the world.
Young in elven years, she's been in battle. She's been on the front lines.
Hmm.
She's gone on missions. She's done different things. So she has that experience, under her belt.
Yeah.
Obviously, we now found out that she's maybe not the wisest. So when she goes onto when she believes Robert Farn said, no, Zen said that you are to go on this. This is the plan. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
A little following into. I mean, this is what you wanted. You want to be recognized and kind of accepted as a knight, as a follower of Zin. So
Yes.
if you get orders from the higher ups, of course, why would you question them? Just go on along with them. Although
Oh yeah.
it's a strange request to go do odd ends for this
Right.
adventurers guild,
Like,
but.
I'm like, how is this honorable? But because of the fact that he says that it's, and of course, as you mentioned, Zen is the god of where everything's a part of, like, almost like manifest destiny,
Hmm.
like, this things that are meant to be. I believe I have a purpose, even though, I may be a woman, and some people may, like, I'm sure there's some high elf males that are like, "Gah," or other males that are like, can't she thinks
Yeah,
that she could be a holy knight, get out of here, but I'm going to prove them wrong. But yeah, she basically, that's her destiny, is to, kind of continue that legacy for her family and also the kingdom of Zen. So
I dig it. I really like it. That's gonna perfectly ties into a lot of the themes that I wanted to hit
yeah,
with the Holy Kingdom. So it'll be
yeah,
fun to get in and explore that through the
yeah.
lens of
But
your
she's
character.
intelligent, so she has book smarts, and she's very smart in battle. But sometimes when it comes to, certain things, maybe she's just like,
A
"Meh."
little bit of an airhead sometimes, but
Right.
that's fine.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nothing wrong
Let's see.
with that.
Oh, some people are asking stuff now. Oh,
Do
is it, what is your character's biggest weakness? Men, women, carbs, murder, stab. Oh, that's actually a really good question, Geek Life. So I was making jokes about her potentially because she has this now dragon dice, right, guys? I
yeah,
don't know if that was Thaddeus who said dragon dice. Like maybe she has a little bit of a gambling problem, but no, realistically, I think that probably part of it is that kind of going into that now, playing off that low wisdom. She trusts basically the authority, even if like it doesn't make sense. She's
hmm
gonna like, so it's almost like following, but to the point where it could be actually, it could come back to bite you in the butt, or
yeah.
so there could be some other repercussions from that. So I think that she's just like, her loyalty and like wanting to achieve her goal so much that may or may not, like as far as decision making, you know that could affect things. So I think her weakness is probably just being like, where she's just so like gung-ho, and she's trying to like show that she's worthy. She's a little, she believes everything they say. So like she's gonna follow it to a T. If I
Well,
get a letter that says that, I gotta, go jump off of a tree, I'm gonna do it because that's what Zen wants me to do.
straight laced and gullible, so
Yeah, yeah,
a dangerous combination.
right.
Uh,
But not towards everyone. But maybe we'll
Dir-
see, depending on the dice roll, right? I don't know.
Dirigible did have a good point that low whiz equals easy to mind control, and you do have a 1 on your wisdom saving throw, so that's a little bit on the lower end there, but I mean it
Yes.
fits. It fits for somebody who's a little bit gullible like that. If a
Yeah.
magical suggestion of that sort came about, that
Yeah.
you'd be more susceptible to that.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, and it depends because as you go for, as we gain more experience, I might be able to get certain things that can protect me against, like I actually probably would have tried to go for like a special there's different things like items in D&D which are really cool, like rings where it can help you from like actually like being, you know being able to be manipulated or charmed or whatever, so you can kind of like get these different things. But because I'm kind of broke as a joke right now after getting all my equipment, because I decided to try to roll for gold instead of just taking the normal pack normal path, you know
Yeah, you still
there
got
we go.
you got a decent amount of pocket change for a level 2 character,
Yeah,
walking around 50 gold
yeah.
on top of
I mean,
having
I
all the.
might. Hey, that is. I might actually add that part about her, like, secretly liking to gamble. Like, that might be funny. Who knows? You never know. I, in D&D, things happen. So
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think that's kind of weird to think about, like gambling in a society that's very fatalistic like that.
yeah,
That you would think it would be pretty popular because if it's your whim, today's my day, it's my lucky day. I'm definitely going to be there in the dice,
yeah.
and they would be pretty
I'm
accepting if they
destined to
lost too.
win. I'm
Yeah,
destined to win, man. It's the plan.
yeah, yeah. So I think there might be a pretty good casino industry in the Holy Kingdom. If we
Right?
go out and check out over there, there might be a side attraction.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, cool. We got this sheet sorted out. We got this character nailed
Yeah.
down.
If
That
you
was in
guys
like,
have any other questions,
yeah, yeah.
let the dragon dice decide, and also the rest of the party. Would be cool to see a fantasy casino in the world. That would be cool. We have a little like James Bond moment where
Oh
it's like
yeah.
Casino
Oh,
Royale,
that'd be
but like
perfect.
a Casino Royale in D&D. I mean,
Have
we
to
could
enter into
all
the Dragon
guess
Dice
that.
tournament.
Their secret weapon, Talia Presquin. Leah, go out there, do the thing. Roll the dice.
I dig it. I dig it. I'm storing that one for later. We might have to bring that up.
Not a bad idea. That's actually, I actually haven't seen that. So that would be actually really, really interesting. No, I've never seen that before or heard of it, but I'm sure it exists. I'm sure like there's so many, like it's 24 hours of D&D streaming, and
Oh yeah.
we can't watch it all, but I'm sure that maybe that was something before. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever really seen. I mean, I've seen little things like that, but never anything like a whole like kind of Casino Royale kind of arc done in
Yeah,
a D&D game before. So that's something I might have to percolate on a little bit, see if I
yeah.
can.
And how would you kind of like, because it's a game within a game or
Yeah,
multiple games within a game. So
yeah.
it's like, how did I don't know.
We're
That's a
gonna.
lot. That's talk about a lot of math. That's a lot of math. That's a lot of rolling.
Yeah, a casino would need to be lots of magic protection. It'd have to be you'd have to have like a beholder in there with like anti-magic shells on everybody,
Oh
make
my
sure nobody's
gosh.
cheating.
You just have like different like creatures who are like they're like actually doing they're dealing out the cards and everything. This is a magical casino heist. Trying to fool the magic protection sounds cool. Yeah,
That's definitely a good hook right there. That's
there we
a
go.
that's an adventure or a campaign all in itself. Yeah.
Ocean's 11 style. Well, we may not have 11, but we're gonna have a solid squad.
The
What is it
Ocean
now? It's five.
5, yeah, that'd be you're
Five.
the fifth
I'm the
one to join
fifth.
the Adventurers Guild. Ocean's Nat 20. There we go.
Wait, I think I have. Wait, I have my net 20s. There we go. Wait. Boom.
There they are.
But yeah, if you guys have any other questions about Talia, Leah Presquin,
Leah Presquin. Where'd you come up with the
Talia,
name? Um,
um, Talia, well, I, you know, I mean, I always like I like the sound of the name Talia, but Presquin, I did do like elf name generator because
okay.
I wanted something. I was like, I want a cool sounding last, and the names in just in general in D&D are like they're just all over the place, you know. And I'm like,
Mhm.
sometimes I'm able to come up with a last name and it works, like, you know, like I'm like, okay, like I have a last name that I want for this character, but then for this, you know, it's like Talia, I like Talia, but last names I'm like, oh, I want something different, something that I haven't heard before. And Presquin was just a very noble sounding last name, and it just seemed like it fit. Leah
Yeah.
Presquin, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah. I fall back on those fantasy name generators quite a bit. When one of my players is like, oh, I talked to the shopkeeper. What's his name? I'm like, that's a good question. It's
it's like,
click click click. They're my fantasy name
yeah, and they
generators.
have everything. They have like orc names, halfling names. So sometimes if I'm just like, oh, I'm like stuck, like I'm like I may have a last name but not a first. Like I'll be like, okay, got it,
Yeah. Yeah.
got it.
Definitely a perfect tool to have
Oh
around
yeah.
for situations like that.
Well, you know, you say add win to anything to make it elvish name. It's like, yeah, but you know, you gotta win no matter what. Oh no, okay, I'm gonna
Oh,
stop
Geek
now.
Life has a Geek Life has a good question here. Who is your character's biggest rival?
Ooh, well, I honestly think that that's gonna be to be determined.
Okay.
You know, like you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not 100% sure yet, because I think that's, you know, that's something that could be discovered when we're when I start this journey with
Right. Yeah. When
the
we're
guild.
when we're first gonna be seeing this character, we're gonna be far from home. But is there anybody in Leah's past that maybe they were at the academy together, or some rival from back in the day?
um well, you know, I think that there you know, there may be you know, a certain group
Okay.
of young men who kind of constantly like to challenge Talia, you know, kind of a little, you know, give her a hard time because of the fact that they felt like women had no place amongst the holy knights or the knights in general.
Yeah. That's
And you know, I might have had to, you know, basically take them down a few times, you know, show my grappling skills,
all right.
you
All right.
know,
So
my
so
martial arts, and then, you know, take them down and, you know, made them call uncle, you know, it's,
some potential
you know,
rivals
something
in the
like that.
past there. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
dig
like
it.
I feel like, you know, I think that I think if anything, Talia is more like she's her own kind of like, right, like she doesn't consider other people rivals because she's so focused on trying to be her best
Hmm.
that she's almost her own like rival in a sense, if
Oh,
you
there
if
we
that makes
go.
sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like the other people, like, whatever, because she kind of knew that, and her father already warned her, listen, this is usually we carry it on to it, like a son carries the name and takes on that title of a knight, and
Hmm.
you're trying to reach for holy knight. That's definitely a challenge because no one in the family has achieved that status. So for her as a female in the family to feel like I can actually be the first ever to reach holy knight status, that's already in itself, like, a lot of people are like, what, come on.
Yeah.
So it's really just kind of her showing everyone that she can do it, but also to mainly like she might beat herself up a little bit, so because she wants to be a perfectionist in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least that's kind of what I've have in mind, something along those lines.
Dig it. I dig it.
You says is a rival that slut Becky priestess of Avandra who snubbed you in college. No, that would be more like we change that to a male's name, and
There we go.
Avandre.
Oh.
Avandre came for me, and I was like not having it, and I tackled him and basically put him in a chokehold, sleeper hold. He passed out. All the other knights laughed at him, and then I told you, don't challenge me if you're not ready for if you're not ready for the takedown. Come on,
Yeah.
you got to be prepared.
All right, perfect. Well, I think we got a good look, a good first look at Leah here, and I'm excited to see this character
Oh yeah, it's
the
gonna be so
holodeck.
fun. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see the visuals especially for the kingdom.
Oh
I'm so
yeah.
curious because for a lot of the places that
Hmm.
you guys have in mind, and that we haven't, the adventurers haven't explored. I'm really excited because it's already so visually stunning
Hmm.
and so amazing. It's such a unique D&D experience. Like, it's I've never seen it before. I don't think it's ever been done before in this way. So it's going to be really cool to see it continue on, and to see like what you come up with, because it's all it's you guys, your brainchild. So you guys are
Yeah.
constantly coming up with new ideas, and the storyline only progresses because you as the DM are creating the world for us. So
Well, the story also
thank
only
you.
progresses because you as the players are moving through the world. So thank you for coming on here
Teamwork.
and getting your
That's what
character
everybody was
sorted
doing.
out.
What were they doing? They're like, teamwork.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on here, and thank you everybody for
Thank you
stopping
so
by.
much, guys.
This has been character creation with Utahime. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials for InstaQuest. We're Twitter at QuestInsta, Instagram at InstaQuestTV, and
Yeah.
here on Twitch at InstaQuest. You can follow Utahime at all of her socials if you want to lay those out for us.
Yay. And I am on Twitch as well. So you can find me Utahime Cosplay on here as well
All
throughout
right.
the week. Usually 4 to 5 days out of the week, I'm streaming something fun.
All right, perfect. We'll make sure to follow for all the latest news from the both of us. And until next time, have a good one.
Bye, guys. Thank you.